work. Hey everyone, welcome to part 10 of the community questions. This is our Jira duty, and we're going to be doing a live Jira Q&A. Feel free to drop questions in the chat if you got any. Otherwise, we're just going to jump into it. I think I'm flying solo today. Doesn't look like the rest of the crew is going to be joining me, so let's go have some fun here and just start answering some questions, see what we can answer. Might change things up a bit since it's just a couple of us here. So let's go to community.atlassian.com. I'm going to share my screen. We'll get started answering some questions. We'll see how hard they are or how not hard they are. And then before we get too far into this, I just want to remind everybody that this video and this entire series, not just this video, but this entire series of Jira duties is sponsored by my good friends over at Resolution. Make sure you check out some of their apps. They have really cool ones like the Not Another Stand-Up app, aka NASA. They also have an out-of-office assistant, and they have HubSpot integrations. They have a really cool list of catalog, really, of apps in the Atlassian ecosystem. And there's a link down in the description, so make sure you go check that out. And check out their apps, because, again, they have a lot of different apps in the Atlassian marketplace. All right, let's jump into some questions. This is part 10, folks. If you know the drill by now, we just jump in and we answer the questions. Again, these are going to be a little bit harder because I'm going to be flying solo, so I might be trying things out more, trying to recreate things, but hopefully we have some fun with it because it should be fun. It should be a great time here. We're going to be here together for an hour, and we'll see. All right, let's get into how can Jira comments be updated with earlier threads that are modified. Let's take a look at that one here. And so, let's see, how can Jira comments be updated when earlier email threads are modified? When we reply to an email thread, it successfully adds a new comment to the Jira ticket. However, if we make edits to the earlier parts of the email thread, those changes are not reflected as update in the comments. Can you please confirm that there's a way to update previous comments through the email thread? If not, can you provide related documentation or guidance on this? Let's see if we can understand what these people are asking for here. So when we reply to an email thread, it is successfully add the new comments to the Jira ticket. However, if we make edits to the earlier part of the email thread, those changes are now reflected as updates in the comments in Jira. This is interesting, though. How do you edit an email? This is a very interesting question. Let's ask a question here. How are you editing an email? Jira is taking a snapshot whenever you include the ticket number, the issue key. I swear, Atlassian should be calling these tickets because I think that's the most common term here. But not tasks. Hopefully they don't call them tasks. So Jira is taking a snapshot whenever you include the issue key in the email. How are you able to edit the email after it's been sent? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense because I don't know that emails can be modified. I mean, like, I can reply all and then I have a new email, and sure, I can go and edit the body, but it's kind of weird. I don't know how you would even edit like an earlier part of an email thread, right? Would it be possible for you to manually edit the Jira comment? Let's ask that question and we'll see what comes out of it, because this is a very weird one. I don't see anything, nothing blatantly obvious. Not something that I've seen, just because I don't even understand how the email itself gets edited. That part just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've been an Exchange admin, and it doesn't make sense how you would update an email. All right, let's see the next one. Should probably close the last one. Suddenly, some employees are unable to register issues in a project. Ooh, dun dun dun. As the title says, some employees have suddenly been unable to register issues in projects as early as October. I appreciate if you can elaborate on what parts I should check. Okay, so they cannot create issues. Wow, there's a lot of places to check, KS. So let's start here. So first question. Okay, so first two places that I would think of is license and permission. Okay, so hello at KS. here's where I would start looking. First, do those users still have a valid Jira license? Sometimes companies do a license cleanup to save on costs. And if a user isn't active for a certain period of time, a Jira admin might remove the Jira license. And without a license, you can't register tickets. Second, were there any updates to the permissions of that project? There is a create issues permission associated with this project. I can't tell if it's a team manager company though. But it's still permission. It's like the pop-up covers if I'm in a company or team, so I can't really tell. But there's still a permission regardless of which one you're in. But at least at the very minimum, there's that company. If there isn't a company one, then there's definitely going to be that explicit permission for create. What else would happen? So we got licenses covered. We got the permissions covered. In the chat, what else should I be looking for here? We got a couple of things. I'm trying to think out loud, but also try not to bore you to death. But what would cause somebody to not be able to create issues? I know for sure a license. I know that's for sure. Second would be the create permission to that specific project, right? Because if they don't have the ability to access this particular project, I think those are the only two things that would cause this problem. I can't imagine something else would cause this level of complication. But we'll start off with those. I would look into those two first before troubleshooting other things. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna drop this answer here, and then we're gonna go on to the next one. Look at this. When I don't have a whole crew with me, I'm able to just like get right through these. It's amazing. Using Genie on call, can I add myself to a specific rotation? Ooh, I haven't done anything with that yet. So let's skip that for now. Although we do want to come and add. I do need to figure this one out. This is a question I want to add, but pricing with Opsgenie is kind of weird, and I don't always have access to it. So we'll come back to it. I wish I could flag these. Octo Atlassian Portal 403 error. Ooh, this is kind of weird. Okay, let's see what's up with this one. Proud of how good you've gotten at this, Alex. Thanks, Andy. Thank you very much. I'm trying to trial by fire, I guess. All right, so 403 error. I'm not sure what to reply here other than I'm gonna reply with, this sounds like they either A, don't have a customer license, or B, they just don't have access to this particular portal. It is in Japanese a little bit, or Korean, so that's like Korean. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just gonna reply with just the general, you might just not have access. So I'm gonna say hello. Welcome to the Atlassian community. You might not, two things that come to mind. One, you might not have the Jira Service Management customer license. You'll want to talk with the Jira admin owner to provide you with this. Two, you might not be a customer of that specific portal. Now, again, I can't tell what this text is. I don't know if it's part of the portal or not, but for sure, they might just not have access to the portal. So I'm thinking there's going to be the license. I'm thinking they're not going to have that customer license, but it could be either or at this point. In this case, you would want to talk to either the project portal owner or the Jira administrator. Hope that helps. Not sure there's anything else. Again, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of, but still a good amount of information there, and hopefully they got some tips to troubleshoot where they're going to go with that one. All right, on to the next one. Jira Cloud. I like where this is going. How to find, track, sprint start, and end dates. So I'm using a SQL connector to unload all Jira tables onto a local DB and cannot find any information about the sprint start and end fields. I understand that this might be specific to this third-party product, but if anybody knows how I can find and track those fields inside of Jira Cloud, thinking use those fields to assign it to my new custom field, which should be available in DB. Just worry about that this information is well hidden on a system level where it's somewhere in Jira. Maybe you can okay, so I don't know there's a secret, but a couple of things do come to mind. So let's jump into Jira so we can take a look at this. And I don't know. I do know. Let me see if through the Jira API. Jira Cloud API. I do believe this information is accessible somehow. I don't know how. I've never done it. But I do believe it is accessible. Let me see if there's anything on the left-hand side here that kind of talks about sprints. I'm just kind of searching here. I don't see anything, and I'm in that heat of the moment where, again, if I feel like I stop talking, you guys get bored. So I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking until I find something. But I don't see anything here. I was hoping that there would be something for like the sprint or something like that, but I'm not seeing it. So here's what I'm kind of thinking, right? So there's dates, right? So if you go into your backlog and you do have dates, you have them here. But the problem is your start and your stop of your dates aren't these, right? The real dates are when you hit the start button and the complete sprint button. In which case, those dates are more easily viewed over here, like on your burn down report. So if you go to like a previous sprint, you will clearly see that Jira logs timestamps when the sprint starts and when the sprint ends. But I do not think that those are as accessible fields. Hello, Sarah. I'm flying solo today. But I don't think all hope is lost. So what you could do, I think, we're gonna go and explore this. I think with an automation rule, you can come over here and there's a sprint. So you do have one when the sprint starts and when the sprint's complete. And so what I would do is I would take a custom field for start sprint and stop sprint. Again, this is only assuming that there is no user accessible field for that start and the stop. So my workaround would be when the sprint started, timestamp, right? So when you got to pick your board, right? And so whenever the sprint starts, then I'm going to edit the issue, right? I'm going to edit like, oops. Why isn't edit in here? Issue should be in here. Issue field, then let's go field. What in the world is wrong with my thing? Why am I not able to see edit required? No. What happened to all my automation rules? Am I in the right place? This looks all right. What did I break? Anyways, there should be a way for you to edit the field, or edit the issue. I don't know why I'm like being sent the JSM route. Maybe it thinks I'm in a JSM project. I don't know. But anyway, so the idea is you start the sprint and you can do a custom field and do this on that custom field. That way you have the timestamp for the now. And then when the sprint ends, you also have a custom field for the sprint end. And then you can grab that data. So that's what I'm going to write over here. So let's see. Let's talk to Raton. Oh boy, I always mess this up. I really don't think. If anybody in the chat, do you know? Because you started the sprint, you can only use sprint actions. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because these things over here for JSM, like there's no sprints. I could come on, but not on camera. Oh, Sarah. You're funny gal. We're all beautiful people, Sarah. All beautiful people. Why in the here it is. Here's my edit issue. Okay, I for some reason it was just hidden. See, that's just how many automation rules I make. Okay, so this will work. This will work. Okay. But in the chat, does anybody know if you can actually access that start and end date? Because I do know that they exist, right? Like I showed you earlier, they definitely do exist. They are recorded. My hair is wet in the towel. They are recorded, as you can see in the burn down report and probably even in the sprint report. But I don't think they're user accessible. So I'm gonna go with my workaround. I don't think that the sprint start and end date are user accessible. You can see the date, time in the sprint reports and sprint burn downs. Actually, I'm not sure if you see them in the sprint reports. Let's go look over there. I didn't quite check. Reports, sprint report. You do have it here. So, yep, they're there. Okay. But and you indeed are beautiful. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks. That was awfully nice of you. We all know it's a lie, but thank you. All right. But like I said, I don't see any way of getting that data. So workaround. Create 2 custom fields for your project. One to capture the sprint start and one to capture the sprint end. The problem is going to be you got to put this on a ticket somewhere. So that's probably, Sarah, that's probably why it wasn't showing us those sprint actions, right? Because when a sprint starts, we don't know which field. So maybe we need to do like a JQL to find an issue in there, because at the end of the day, we just need it in an issue. And so you might need to put that in first. So let's go with that. All right. So once you capture the sprint start, once you capture the sprint end, then using automation rules, or using an automation rule, you should be able to timestamp using the now smart value when the trigger for sprint started executed. You'll have to do a JQL to find the issues in that active sprint so that you have a place to actually put the start sprint data. Then using a different rule. Again, folks, if anybody has a better method for this, do please. The chat is available, but this is the best I can come up with, and I don't have Rodney or Bob to bounce the ideas off of, and Sarah's got the towel, so she's not not cooperative either. So if you think there's a better way, do please let me know before we hit answer. Send me the link to the community. So here's a question for you, Miss Sarah, so you can go look at it, because I know the screen's a little small. Okay. Then using a different automation rule, when the sprint ends as a trigger, you can then timestamp the close sprint field using the same smart value. Of course, you'll need a similar JQL to find an issue that was in the started or closed sprint, so that you can actually put the value in an issue via the auto. Hope that helps. I know it's not intuitive, but clearly Atlassian doesn't want you to have it. Did Trudy already answer? Do I need to save this? Unbelievable, Trudy. Let's see what Trudy wrote. I'm gonna copy my text. We'll see what Trudy said, because I went down a whole rabbit hole, and I felt like that would have been too much. Okay, here we go. Data schema. So, oh, look at that. I would have just gone to the app. Maybe I'm spending too much time. Well, these are just the IDs. But Trudy's much smarter than me. Thank you, Trudy. I'm just gonna do that one. But if anybody knows the field, let's see. The sprint start and end date is shown in the upper right corner. Oh, I see it here. I see the end date and the start date. That might work. What do you guys think? Should I drop? Trudy and I need to just do this together, because clearly when we're doing this, we're doing these at the exact same time and we're fighting for the exact same tickets. So we are like, we're locked in. Either that or I'm gonna just shift these around to a different hour, because Trudy and I we're at this. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the upvote and just completely ignore my answer. Because hey, I'm more than happy to have Trudy on. Y'all need to tell Trudy she needs to come on, because she doesn't like to come on. This is not me. It's not a me issue. Trudy doesn't come on. All right. Let's take a look at automation rules. We're gonna close that out. Now that I'm all sad about that one. Jira automation not affecting linked JPD. I'm gonna drop the question in the comment here, so that my good friend Sarah can see it. Glenn says, "Hi folks, I'm running into an automation problem. Hope someone can help me unwind this. First, let's refresh and make sure Trudy hasn't gotten in here yet." Okay. So I'm running into an automation problem. Hope someone can help me unwind this, and that's not a gap in the lessons features. I have a JPD roadmap issue that are linked to delivery tickets, epics, and other Jira projects. When the linked epic changes state, I want the JPD parent to also change its workflow state. I created an automation, the delivery issue, to push the state, but it doesn't. Yes. What you're doing wrong is that the JPD issue is not a parent. Let's go take a look at what that looks like inside of Jira. So I'm gonna go into a JPD project, and again, so I misspoke. You're not doing anything wrong, but what is wrong is that you're not an admin. I mean, sorry, you're the relationship between a JPD issue and a story or an epic isn't like how you think it is. I'm gonna add myself in here because I couldn't see the project for whatever reason. All right, so when I go into an idea and I create the delivery ticket, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna create a new one. So just not that one, not that one. Test out of subtask. Let's do that. Let's do TL5. You got an epic, right? And we're gonna create it. And so now this is an epic, and technically from a hierarchical perspective, it gives you the illusion that this is it, but they're not, right? So let's open this up so I can see how the link works. So what I would do, rather than try to find a parent child, I will use the linked, because clearly it does create a link, but it's just not the parent one. I would look at the linked issues and see the parents. So that's what I'm going to respond with, right? So I would do an automation rule, but instead of depending on that parent and child relationship, because it doesn't work that way, you're going to want to look for that branch feature or that branch condition that goes for the linked issues. So that's what I'm going to reply with. Again, y'all let me know if you have a different answer. Let me refresh before I go down my novel here and see what I can tell Glenn here. Dang it, this thing never works for me. All right, Glenn. Man, come on, man, Glenn. Right, so Jira's JPD issues aren't parents of the Jira software issue. It looks like it is within JPD, but it's not. What you may want to do is, whenever the delivery ticket is created, a link between that delivery ticket and your JPD ticket is established by Jira. I would use the branch rule of linked issues to take action on your automation rule. When you do this, you want to make sure you pick the correct linked issue type. In my case, when I created the delivery ticket, the linked issue type was called implements. So maybe use that one, but definitely not parent. Hope that helps. All right. Go ahead and answer on that one, and we'll go on to the next one. I got a yep from Sarah, so that must be a really good sign that we're doing something right. Oops, issue link and issue type is JPD. Minor details, Sarah. The important thing I think is that when they go create the automation rule on the Jira side, I'm just gonna go into the automation rule over here. When they're doing this and I'm just gonna do manual. Where the devils are, minor detail, right? The for each on this branching, this is where we're looking for those related issues, right? And we're looking for linked issues, and then we're looking for that implements or implemented by. I think he was using test, but that's what I would do. All right, on to the next one, and we're almost at the halfway mark. Wow, this is going a little bit slower than when I have the whole crew with me, but Ronnie is off in Barcelona, probably well asleep right now, hopefully, because he's got a very busy day tomorrow, as tomorrow is day one, official day one of the Team 24 Europe edition. What do y'all think they're going to announce? Like, we already had Team 24 in Vegas. What do you think they figured out in 6 months? You think anything good? I can only comment audio. You can, whatever you want. Whatever you want, Miss Sarah. You have the link. You don't have to turn on the camera. We'd love to hear your lovely voice if you're comfortable with your voice. And tomorrow is ACP day. So in the traditional way that Atlassian starts, we'll take a little detour here. Team 24 Europe schedule. So in the traditional way of that Atlassian does these things, the conference starts tomorrow, but it doesn't start until 5 p.m. And technically the expo opens up at 3. But as you can see, there's certification happening all morning long. And so since I don't think I'm a champion, as many of you are here too, but I don't think that they had any like champion specific events that I heard of. So when we went to Team 24 in Vegas, oh hey Sarah, let me add you in here because you won't be able to. There you go. Hey Sarah, mic check.
Yes. Well,
nope, not coming in at all. Or maybe I have my volume down. Try it again because my speakers were probably down.
Yep, I had to mute my other stream. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the certification starts at 8 a.m. and so he's gonna go do that certification early in the morning, because the expo and the kickoff keynote don't happen until much later in the day. So last year or this year for Team 24 in Vegas, in the morning during that 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., there was an entire like session, like 8-hour sessions for the Atlassian champions. And if you were a partner, I do believe they had like a partner session going on as well. And our very own here, Sean Doyle, I believe, was bouncing between the two, if I recall correctly, or maybe he delegated or something. But there's definitely there's stuff in the morning, and so we were busy, but I don't think they had it this time. So I think Rodney took advantage of the fact that there was nothing for the champions and just went to go take the ACP 120, or will be taking the ACP 120. But it's kind of weird because when you look at the Atlassian conference, it's really just maybe a 2-day conference, right? Because you got Wednesday's the full day, and I thought it was interesting that they're doing Bash at the end of Wednesday. I thought this was super interesting because usually it's the end on Thursday at the end,
well,
right?
Unless way back they did it on the second to last day, the penultimate day, and then on the last day you're like, oh.
I was gonna say, Sarah, you're way too hungover after Bash to make it.
Oh yeah. That's why. Yeah, when they switched it to the last day, I was like, okay, I'm down with this. Like, I can go sleep on a plane.
Found it hardly worth the trip. Yeah, I don't think I would have paid to go to Barcelona and the 12-hour flight. But So it's a very similar schedule to Team 25 and Vegas. Sorry, Team 24 in Vegas, but it's just the Wednesday. The Wednesday's the whole day, but this thing is over by 10:45. Like, yeah, there's breakout and training sessions, but like nobody goes to the sessions anyway. So, I mean, it's really, really over by 4. But after that keynote, you're just kind of perusing and doing some window shopping. So, and it starts all the way until 5 p.m. on Monday, right? So it's really like a 2-day conference. But
Yeah.
they,
I
they
bet it's so much easier though for the Europeans to get there. Like I have to imagine it's easier to get to Barcelona from many places across Europe than it is to get to Vegas from many places in the US. Like it's easy to get there, but you still have to fly, you know what I
right.
mean? You can't just like hop on a train and
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're also coming to Anaheim for next year, because what I've heard a lot of teams do is they all take international flights to LAX, because you can get to
yeah.
LAX from like anywhere in the world. And then from LAX, some teams would drive to Vegas because it's like 4 hours, or they would
Mhm.
fly because it's a 1 hour flight to Vegas. But LAX is a big hub, so it's going to be smart that they picked an airport 30 minutes away. Or let me rephrase, they picked an airport 30 miles away, maybe an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
A lot of Europeans took the train, yeah. So then in Europe, you also have a much better public transport. But anyways, Ronnie's
I'll
representing the
get
Jira life
them.
over there. He's out there. He's doing us good. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I had low expectations coming into it. Um,
Your expectations keep getting lower and lower, Alex. You're just like, "Man, you know what? Until they tell us what they're gonna call issues, just
I know, right?
nothing
Until
else
they tell us
matters."
how they're gonna break my heart, I don't care. All right, well, we're back at this one over here. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. You still got the towel on your head?
Well, no, but I'm like a wet dog now.
All right. Can you customize the content in the email notification with specific fields? I'm curious. Oh, first of all, let's see. Okay, so we do have an answer. That's okay. So I'm curious if there's a way to customize the content in the email notification to include additional fields like epic name, labels, end date, and Jira Cloud. Sample snapshot of our current email. Carlos, I never like these when you answer with another question because you got to go hunt.
You
You got to go
know,
hunt for it.
it's kinda like I do wish, as they talk about smart links, like, I wish there were smart links like that in here so that if you're gonna link to another thing, you could get a preview from it there, and when you link to one of their cloud issues, like, let me see the resolution or not on
Yeah.
the linked thing. But I digress.
What I find interesting, so technically the answer is technically no, but it's really technically it depends. So if I go into a Jira software project and I come over here to my project settings and I go to my notifications, I can't edit, like I can edit the notifications, but all it allows me to do is control who's gonna get the notification. Not very helpful there, right? But if it was a JSM project, then
Mm.
technically that's a very different. Oops,
Well,
wrong
and King Bob is saying smart values are your friend.
one. Smart values are definitely. Oh, you know what? That is an interesting thing. Like, it's not possible, but you could send an email. Ask. I mean, you do get 2 emails, but you could do when an issue is created or when an issue is transitioned. You could send an automation email, even though you can't send it through
Mhm.
here. So
Exactly.
let's do that. Let's answer with that because this is a cop out answer. I think. Sorry, Carlos. All right, but this is too much of an easy answer. Let's do the hard answer. Let's give the user what they want.
Can you give him a half vote? Like, thanks for answering.
To Carlos?
I'm kidding.
Oh. Um Carlos is technically correct, but there is a workaround. It's not exactly, oh shoot, I made this bold. What the heck happened there? It's not exactly a perfect solution, as you'll end up with 2 emails, but I suppose you could turn off the default on server days. I suppose you could turn off the default notification from Jira when an issue is created. The workaround. Create an automation rule when an issue is created as the trigger. Then send an email as the action. Using smart values, you should be able to extract the field data that you want to include in your message. And then I'll grab a link to those automation smart values. Holy moly, it's getting dark in my office. Let me turn on some lights before you all can't see me.
Oh, hey, did it cool off, by the way?
No.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm waiting. One day. At this point, I might as well move to like Phoenix, because I tell my wife, I'm like, I don't care so much that the heat, but what I care about is that I'm paying a ridiculous amount of tax money to have perfect weather. Right? Like, I don't mind the
Breach
heat.
of contract, man. They are not living up to their SLA.
They
What the
are
hell?
not, like, seriously, like that's and yes, folks, I didn't pay an electric bill, but last month, since the first time since 2018, I went into the black on my kilowatt hour usage. I used 53 kilowatt hours in the entire month, which is not a lot. It's really, Bob's probably going to like 600, but
Yeah.
with having solar since 2018 and having like everything electric, like my car and everything, like I've never had to go into the positive. I've always had a negative carry on my solar production. But yeah, no, living out here in the desert, it killed me. All right, Bob or Sean, like, get back to the topic.
I know.
Hope.
It's my fault, Sean. I started it.
See, but again, I would gladly move back to Missouri because I expect the crappy weather in Missouri.
Yeah.
You don't expect it here, and I'm like, I'm very mad. Very, very mad. I'm like, ooh, Trudy answered this one. Let's read the question and then we'll see if we upload Trudy's or not. Cristobal says, new issue type scheme, how does it affect my current issues? I created a new issue type scheme for a project, CUS. Do you, Sarah, by the way, do you, how do you pronounce like acronyms? Like, do you read through them?
No, we are not having that conversation, friend. Nope.
No?
Nope.
Why not?
Nope. We're stay on target.
Fine. Customer engagement issue type. I'm telling you, people jump forward those conversations. As is shown in the image below image. The issue I want to use, customer engagement, for the new scheme already has an issue type scheme assigned. I don't understand that question. So he created a new scheme for this project. And then the issue I want to use, so the issue type I want to use, I guess he calls it customer engagement, for the new scheme already has an issue type scheme assigned. Okay, so I don't think he understands how schemes work then.
I think it's the project basically has the scheme.
Yeah. Right. So if I remove the issue type from the current type scheme, will it affect current issues? Well, you won't be able to. Also, I want this to only affect the customer engineering project. It is required or not associated to the project.
Needs a new scheme, friend.
All this is triggered. Do we need to have a different screen for this issue type and not the same we currently have? I already have a new screen scheme, the issue type screen scheme associated. Okay. Let's see what Trudy says, because I think this is just a lack of understanding how Jira works. That was mean, but maybe I'll point to a bit more.
You know, it is a learning curve, right? If you're new to it, and or if you're not always, creating schemes all the time, it's certainly a challenge.
Right. But with a little rusties and a whole lot of luck,
Yeah.
we might be able to turn this thing around. I love cars. All right. So Trudy says, if I remove, you can do this. You can like take snapshots. Ooh. See how she's replying to certain sections? Yes, that will affect the customer engineering parts. The issue type screen scheme specifies which issue types will be available in the associated projects. A project can only have one issue type scheme associated to it. If you remove the issue type from the thing, then that will remove that issue type from the customer engagement project. When you remove the issue type from the scheme, while that scheme might be used for a project, the process will force you to specify a new issue type in which to which any existing customer engagement. Okay, so yes, this is what I wanted to make sure got covered, because that's very, very important.
Yeah, and as Sean said, it's the quote format is what she's using there to get that gray.
See, I'm telling you, Sean just wants. He's here for the distractions.
I was going to share the same thing, so I was just calling out that Sean and I again aligned.
Online. Sarah's showing her true producer cruise. Since the project can only have one issue type scheme at a time, whenever an issue type scheme you want to associate to the customer must include all the issue types you want available for that project. If the problem you're trying to solve is having a different screen, you don't need to change the issue type screen scheme. You should only be updating. Okay. I'm going to upload this. I think it's a really good answer, but this is a very hard concept to understand. So I'm going to drop a couple videos here.
I'm going to drop some truth bombs.
No, not truth bombs, but I think I have issue type schemes, because this is a complex thing. And so I think he's going to want a few of these. So I think he's going to want this one.
Ooh, and then I'm going to go learn how to make $14,300 a day watching that other video. I'm in.
All right. So
sure it's not a scam.
The 14,000 new strategy. New strategy. This is sponsored. I don't know why I'm getting that. Okay. So we want that one. And then do I have my lives not show up on here? Mastering screens. Holy moly, these videos are so old. I can't even see myself anymore without cringing. I've been thinking of redoing all my videos.
Yes. And because that was some feedback I was going to give to somebody else about a 2-year-old video. That's the thing, right? Like the content never ends, because anything you did a year ago, you can redo with all the updates.
Yep. It all just changes every single time. And it's a gift and the curse, right? It's a gift that keeps on giving.
I loved it. If you scroll down a little where you're pointing in 2 different directions and the little mirror image, it's hilarious. Right? See at the bottom of the screen?
Oh.
That's amazing.
That I don't even know how we did that. By the way, original Jira duty was December 14, 2021. I had been on the channel. I've had my YouTube channel for 11 days when I did the very first Jira duty. This is the way we start.
And thus began the curse of me having jury duty.
Man, one day I'm gonna do a reaction video to my very first videos.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, I could have sworn. Okay, so I just had the screen. Okay, forget it. It's on the Jira Live.
I think that's a TJ Jira Live whole show, right? Is that we all just sit there and react.
I should do this a lot better. So screens, where's the issue types? I did one on issue types very recently. Oh man, I just make so many videos. I just tell people go look on my YouTube channel. I got the workflows.
Well, now you see how bad it is to do that. There's Trudy. Hi, Trudy.
Yes, we did interview Trudy 2 months ago.
Yes, Sean, please come on the reaction video. Or actually, no, Sean, I'll reach out. You and I will do our own reaction videos.
Oh my gosh, where is it? I would have. What the heck?
Friend, you're running out of time to get another answer.
No. I got it. It's this one right here. No, wait. This one right here. It's the June. Do you see a July? I don't know. This one. This one for sure. I gotta just listen to my. I gotta skip through my own app. Oh boy. Yep. This is the one where I'm talking all about issue types. Okay. Oh man. I gotta label my things better.
Because these
talk about search engine
those types. No worries. Do you guys because all about that bass, the Star Wars version, by the way, one of the best songs. Well, he types, I'll entertain everybody. So if you don't know, there is a cover of All About That Bass, and it's Star Wars themed.
You keep it up. We're gonna make you come off camera and dance it for us.
It's the best. because I wish the lyrics are so good that I can't totally remember, but something,
You're gonna
something, something where Alderaan space was. It's so good. Oh, yeah, there's Alderaan chunks where Alderaan's face was. It's a brilliant song.
okay. I answered with that one. We'll see what happens. But this is the first time. Well, not the first time, but this is one of the first times where I'm like referencing one of my YouTube videos. Okay. Has anyone experienced trophies plugin? Nope.
No.
Object type. We'll skip that.
Hmm?
Ooh, let's talk about this one. What criteria is determined?
He's scared of assets.
I don't like assets. I think assets is like such a crappy feature. Crappily implemented.
It's gonna get better.
Wait.
Okay, what criteria is used to determine that a ticket is completed? Done, 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 of course.
What is done? What criteria exactly determine what is completed? Some tickets are being hidden that I don't expect to be. Let's see what Did You Know tells us. Jira has a field called resolution. When this field is empty and the ticket is not completed, like the JQL resolution is empty. But once the ticket is completed, the ticket should get prioritized.
Will I get in trouble if I say, like, apart from changing the word issue to something else, getting rid of the requirement for resolution would be something I would love? Because I just see so many people trip up on that and training on that. Like, I get it, but
It's evergreen content.
huh?
It's evergreen content because I was trying to figure out, and we gotta talk offline, but I wish Atlassian had better documentation on certain things, and I wish certain things were not so hard to do. Like,
Right.
I feel like a lot of Jira is easy, but there's some things that are still like I'm scared of.
Mhm. So now you have to listen to my story about how I describe resolution is like when a relationship ends, you might be done, but you haven't resolved your feelings yet. And so you have to resolve them in order to be done, done, done.
Okay, so unfortunately, though, Christian's answer is not correct.
Okay.
It's not correct because she's referencing to hide completed issues older than 2 weeks, right? And so, to the best of my knowledge, the Kanban board should work very similar to the Jira Scrum board. And so let's go make a Kanban project, actually. What do you think, sir? Do you think I'm wrong?
I'm not sure yet because I didn't pay enough attention to what the question was.
So the question is basically saying, so she has this thing of like high completed issues older than 2 weeks. And she's like, what does completed mean? Like, what does that text word mean, right?
Hey, so you're just going to create a Kanban board or a new project with a Kanban board? And if so, why don't you use the create a project with sample data?
Great idea.
Great suggestion.
I just made the project. Yeah, I made the project. So I'm going to create the board and I'm going to create the Kanban board with that.
Right.
Well, now
so then there won't be anything in it.
Now I get a new project, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. We're good.
We're always good.
I don't know what Bob did, but when I get added to these projects, I can't access my own stuff unless I'm adding it out of myself. Bob fixed my Jira.
Well, don't you need like a permission scheme just to make you an administrator all the time?
Okay. All right. Something happened. I'm not going to the project. Let's just stay here.
I'm going to get uninvited.
I'm gonna uninvite you. I do like this though. This is new. Have you noticed?
Selected for development. Yeah, I noticed that the other day.
That you can now create issues like in Trello.
Pretty.
That you can create issues in any status, just like Trello. Okay.
I think you're going to say just like Trello, more and more. Go on.
Right. So see this thing here, completed issues. You could hide them, right, when it's 1 week. But my understanding, the resolution is important. Don't get me wrong. The resolution is very, very critical to mark the issue as done. But in Jira, for something to be removed, it needs to make it to the farthest right column. So the resolution is not as important. If this didn't get crossed out, I do believe Jira would still not care and just kick it out. But the issue needs to be moved to the farthest most right column, whatever that column is. Because if I did this, if I swap these two around, then my in progress would technically be my done one, and my status wouldn't be done. My resolution wouldn't be done, and my status wouldn't be done, but it would still, after a week, get kicked out.
Mm-hmm. You have dusted off some cobwebs in the corners of my mind. If anybody wants to write the rest of that song lyric, they can. But yes, I forgot about that rightmost column.
Yep. So I'm gonna reply at Lynn.
And then you're gonna try using the quote format.
I should. Where at? No.
It's in your.
I mean, there's nothing to quote. It was just the picture.
All right.
All right. Okay. The way company. I'm gonna start with what I know. Company managed. I'm looking for Bob to see if he tells me anything, because Bob's always my keeps me honest guy. Okay. The way company managed Kanban and Scrum, for that matter, boards work is that any issue that makes it to the farthest right column is what the board considers completed. This is independent of the resolution. The resolution is still very important. And Christian is absolutely correct. But Jira is going to hide whatever issues are in that farthest right column, regardless of status or resolution. It's not picky. Whatever's in the farthest right. Yeah, farthest.
Farthest. Right. Like farthest.
Hey, man. English is my third language, right? I'm going to make these bold. What do you guys think? Am I right or am I right?
I think everybody should like respond with some sort of emoji, right? Like, yay. 100%.
Yeah, do you guys agree? Little emoji if you agree with the answer. That's what we got to do for this. Emoji if you agree with the answer, the farthest right column. Then nobody's paying attention. This is just depressing when like nobody else is on. All right, we're gonna take it. I'm almost certain. I can't replicate it because I gotta wait a week. And if we thought a 24-hour stream was bad, let's do a 1 week stream.
Well, so that's where, yeah, I would make the case for the Kanban board with existing issues.
But well, fine. Let's go to your Kanban board with this because the project was created.
Nope. Boards, your work.
No. Oh. The only thing I couldn't connect my.
What are you doing?
I don't know. It just doesn't let me in.
Go to no, friend.
I'm gonna add myself.
Under your work.
Hold on.
Did you create this with the sample data?
I did this one, yes.
Okay.
But I just can't access them because until I add myself.
Well, I'm just busy commenting on things that I don't yet know. Just let me jump to conclusions.
You know what? Forget this. I thought for sure. There it is. There's the
board. There. Okay, so now
there.
Go check over there. And then, yeah, see if...
There's still 3. I don't know when these were done. It says 6 minutes ago.
Oh.
It's just hard, right? But it's the same concept, though. It's whatever's on that farthest right. Yeah. It doesn't matter what status or resolution. Right?
Yeah, I thought it would might backdate things.
No,
Speaking of backdating.
Look, if I release this, right, and I hit release, I expect test 1 to go away, even though it's in progress. See? It's whatever's in the farthest right column.
Well done. Yeah.
So I'm sticking with my answer, folks. We got a green angry monster from Bob.
It's like, it's like a stylized, oh my god, I'm too old for thinking more cobwebs. Oh my god, you guys, I'm having an absolute brain fart of you won't like me when I'm angry.
Uh-oh.
The Hulk, jeez, wow. Okay, it looks like a stylized Hulk.
All right, we
Needs
got
to
time
live
for
the
one
last 2
more. We'll
minutes.
hit this one, and then we'll call it a night. Matt Wong says, my org is wanting to get very granular with date tracking on an epic level. We have date custom fields created for development, start development, forecasted complete development, updated complete development, actual complete. Holy moly. We have there's no answers, of course. We have a set like this for product design, tech design, and development. I currently have the actual dates updated via automation when the associated epic status is progressed. One difficulty is when we plan for the epic, we need to go and update every one of those dates. I have used a timeline view and advanced roadmaps to update at most 2 dates. I want to make it easy as possible to update these dates. Is there anything in Jira that can help make this easier? Removing dates isn't an option. There is a date. What do you think, Sarah? I got an answer for this, but I'm curious what you think.
Again, friend, you process this much quicker than I do. So you go ahead with yours, and then I'm just gonna squint and read at it
Here
again.
we go. Here. You're like my wife, like the amount of data that I read on a daily basis, like I speed read like nobody's business. And my wife, like, though, you know what the one thing is though, Sarah? Like, I can't read in public.
Well, because this is
Like,
not public. What?
no. Like if the roles were reversed, if you were reading it out loud and I try to read it, I have to wait until you finish talking so that I
See,
can then focus on reading it.
precisely. Yes, that's exactly. Like I can't read and hear you and do all of that at the same
Yeah.
time. Exactly,
That's
friend.
that's my big problem. So, but it's not even that. Like, it's me trying to read anywhere. Like, if I'm at the
Mhm.
library and somebody's talking, I
Mhm.
can't read
Mhm.
until it's like it has to be quiet, or I'm reading
Mhm.
out loud.
This is
But
why I work from home.
yeah, all right. Automation. Sean says automation. I'm gonna hit it with something that I do a lot. And so what I do, right? What I do is, and this is probably not gonna be the best. This is probably not gonna be the best answer, but it's the answer that I usually charge a lot of money for. So I'm gonna give it to these folks for free. All right, here's what I do, Sarah.
Mhm.
I go into Jira for free.
You go into Jira?
I go into Jira. I live in Jira, right? And what did he call this thing? Like epic development actual. See, this was dumb. I wouldn't put this one. This is a dumb one, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll use that one as an example. And I'll create a date picker. I don't care too much about the time, but I'll do a date picker. And I'll put this bad boy or create that field, right?
Yep, yep.
I can then give it to one of my, let me just go down, and I give it to my Epic or wherever you want it. But I'm gonna go to this poor mobile project has been contaminated so much. It's not even funny
Well, what else is it used for?
for everything. So
Right?
I'll add it to my screens here, right? And here's Sarah. See, I'm telling you, here's Sarah's special field,
Mhm.
right? And so what I do now is I go back into my project, and obviously we have a resolution date, and the right answer for this in this particular case is, hey, use the resolution date, right? Because you got it, and you can
Mhm.
go check your date resolved, right? But for all the other ones in between, so what I'm going to answer here in the next 2 minutes is modify your workflow so that you have status for every one of those dates you want to track. Because when you have that, when you have a status that corresponds to those dates that you're trying to track, all you got to do is come in here to your transition, hit up your post functions, add a post function, and you're going to do update custom issue field,
Mhm.
and you're going to look for your custom field, and then you're going to grab this text here that's already given to you in Jira and pop that in there and just hit add and then publish. So what that's doing is it's going to timestamp when it enters that specific status. So you're locking it
Mhm.
up automatically. And you would do this for every transition and for every custom field that you have for every
Mhm.
transition. So now when you move an issue from here to, oops, that went to cancel. Now, see, I have like the most messed up. Okay, so we got to go to testing. We got to go to in progress, in review. Now when we go to done, watch, so you'll see that my development actual is not set. But when I go to done, it will set it. So there's a date. And
Mhm.
obviously, if I did the date timestamp, you'd have that too. But again, you just make a crap ton of custom fields, and then you modify your workflow with all those
Mhm.
timestamps. And that way, now you can do deltas and you can do a bunch of other stuff. But
Cool.
that's what I'm going to respond with.
Yep.
What do you think?
Sean concurs. He says, "Yeah, I do this as well." And then he's got another comment on there.
Real issue tracking tool to do this out of the box. This right here, if somebody can figure that one out, let's talk so we can build an app. Sean, let's see if Releasing wants to release an app. Because this is something I get asked a lot, which is why I'm able to click and do it so quickly.
Yeah.
All right, at Matt. First of all, though, poor Matt. I feel bad for him.
Remember to say welcome. Yeah. Okay. I was looking at my other screen because I always hear you go do that. You always go, I forgot to say welcome.
Welcome. All right. And we are out of time, folks. So just don't, we're going to answer this one, but just remind you that this video and this entire series was sponsored by my good friends over at Resolution. And go check them out. There's a link in the description of this video. And they have a lot of apps. I'll recreate ClickQuest. Let me know, Sean. Let me know. I'm more than happy to do it together. So how do I answer this? So, okay. Here's what I would do in your case. Create a status for every major milestone you want to capture a date for. Next, create a custom date field for each of those milestones. After that, for each transition into the status of each of those milestones, you'll want to do a, oops, that's the wrong to do, that's Toto. To do a post function where you timestamp that custom field with the current time that the issue entered that specific status. Okay, if you do this correctly, you should have all the unique dates, times that you need automatically. Check out my video here and go to the 55-minute mark to see it's in action. All right, and I'm gonna just stop the video.
Yeah, I think there's a second part of that though, right? Because it says there's already automation to get those dates, but I'm reading that as being like on the planning side. When we make a plan for the epic, we need to go and update every one of those dates.
Yeah, but he's doing it through the plan because he's able to, extend, and so you're able to change your end in the plans. You're able to set a
Yeah.
different due date, end date,
Yeah.
right? And so what I'm saying is
Yeah.
he's creating the bars, and so when he creates the bars, it timestamps those dates for him. It'll put
Right.
an end date. It'll put an actual date. But really, what he needs to do though, he just needs to have Jira do it for him, which is you got to timestamp through the workflow.
But the workflow is like an afterwards. You know what I mean? The workflow is this is when it happened. And he's he's looking for a way to make it easier to project it and to add like planned start, planned end, planned this, planned that.
But you can't.
Because we have a date custom fields created for development start, like development forecasted complete. Like, I feel like he's trying to figure out future ones. And with the
But okay, so if what you're saying is true though, if you're saying it's true, right? If he wants to set, hey, I prematurely want to go set these dates, right?
Mhm.
How in the world do you even set that accurately?
Oh, I
Why would
know.
you set those?
Right? It's more like it's almost like they would need, instead of trying to do it all on the epic, potentially have like a development story, a design story, like a product design, tech design, and development stories almost that have planned start and end dates on those as well. Because they're just trying to manage like 3 different things, knowing the dates associated with 3 different things on the Epic, or unless they,
Oh no, but
unless
this is what
product design is first and tech design is second, and then development is third.
but no. What I think though, here's how I'm reading this. This sentence right here is what this is how I'm interpreting. Let me get your feedback, right?
Mhm,
One difficulty is when we make a plan for the Epic, we need to go and update every one of these dates. But
mhm.
I'm understanding this then as he has stories that are moving through this, that based on when that story entered, he wants those timestamps up top. That wouldn't be a good interpretation either, though.
I think this is all about, so at the risk of
Let's just
can I
let's
say a plug-in by somebody?
let me ask, are you trying to forecast those dates before they actually happen?
That's what I think is they're just creating their larger plan.
Let's see what he answers back with. Are you trying to forecast the dates before they actually happen? Because if you are, then let's go to Vegas because clearly you can predict the future.
Well, this is just probably trying to determine, like, in project management, how close are they, how, like, story points, right? How close did we get? Did we actually,
No.
or
Story points is an estimate.
that's
This
my
is
point. This is also
actuals.
an
These are
estimate.
actuals.
No, I think he's talking about planning and estimating when things will happen, because they might be
How?
involved in, like, capacity planning, right? And,
Okay,
"Hey, is somebody open for this and somebody
but
open
how
for
do
that?"
you know when development started? How do you predict that somebody's gonna start it on that? Like,
Because you're, like, waterfalling this, right? You're saying like, design might take this long, tech design might take that long, development might take that long.
but then these two are actuals.
Yeah, because I think they wanna know what they're planning for, and then what they actually hit.
Yeah, no. This all right. We're gonna drop it here. This
We're
is
the
okay for
same
me.
and different.
Yes. Agree to disagree. I don't think you can. I mean, you can't predict the future like that. If you could, then he'd be a millionaire. Or as Bob said it over here, where was it at? He has a giant. The odds. It's about the same odds as Milton hitting Atlanta the same day Ronnie comes back.
Well, I think that's 1 to 1.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, again, thank you very much for tuning in. I know we went a little bit over. We got this is number 10. We still have 4 more 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I've got 4 more to go.
Yeah.
3 more, 2 more this week, and then 2 more next week, and then we're done. And never again am I doing Jared duties again until like next summer.
Tune in for the sparring.
I know. Tune in for the reaction videos.
Thanks, Resolution.
Thank you, Resolution. Thank you very much. Check out their merch store. I've never actually seen their website, but they send me all their gear. So check out their shirts.
Oh,
They have a lot of cool
cute.
shirts as well. But most importantly,
Aw.
obviously, check out their apps. Thank you, Resolution. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. Bye.